Barron Trump had always been known for his reserved nature, but beneath his quiet demeanor, he possessed a kind heart. While many may not have noticed, Barron was deeply empathetic and cared about those around him, even if he didn't always show it. His childhood, often in the spotlight due to his family's prominence, was not one that allowed for typical friendships or normal experiences. Yet, there was one person who had left a lasting impact on him, his former teacher, Mrs. Katherine Dawson. Mrs. Dawson had been Barron's teacher during his middle school years at the prestigious school he attended. She was kind, patient, and had a way of connecting with each of her students in a way that made them feel seen. She had always believed in Barron, offering encouragement when others doubted him. It wasn't uncommon for Barron to stay after class, talking to her about his struggles with fitting in, and Mrs. Dawson always took the time to listen. Years passed, and Barron continued his education elsewhere, moving through life as the son of one of the most famous figures in the world. Despite his busy schedule, Barron never forgot the kindness Mrs. Dawson had shown him. But as time went on, they lost contact. Barron assumed she was still teaching and living a full life, unaware of the twists fate had in store for her. One chilly autumn afternoon, Barron was taking a rare walk through New York City's bustling streets. He was in deep thought, trying to clear his mind from the pressures of his public life. As he strolled through a quieter corner of the city, something caught his eye: a woman sitting on the steps of a building, huddled in a worn coat. Her appearance was unkempt, and she looked exhausted, but something about her face seemed strangely familiar. As Barron drew closer, the woman lifted her head. His heart skipped a beat. It was Mrs. Katherine Dawson, the teacher who had once offered him guidance and compassion. Now, she sat on the street, alone and homeless, with a look of resignation in her eyes. Barron froze for a moment, his mind racing. How could this be? He had never imagined his former teacher, the one who had once shaped his life, could end up in such a dire situation. But there she was, her clothes ragged and her spirit seemingly broken. It was a reality that Barron couldn't ignore, and something inside him shifted. Without thinking twice, Barron approached her, his voice filled with disbelief as he called her name. "Mrs. Dawson?" The woman looked up at him, her eyes wide, clearly confused at first. Then, as recognition settled in, a flicker of warmth appeared in her eyes. "Barron? Is that really you?" she asked, her voice trembling with emotion. Barron nodded, barely able to contain his shock. They sat down on the cold steps, and Barron listened as Mrs. Dawson explained her story. After a series of unfortunate events, including losing her job due to a health issue and being unable to pay rent, she had found herself on the streets. Her once vibrant life had crumbled, and she had fallen into a place she never thought she'd be. Barron, shaken but determined, immediately offered to help. "You don't belong here," he said firmly. "I'm not going to let you stay on the streets." Mrs. Dawson shook her head, overwhelmed with emotion. She tried to decline, saying she didn't want to impose, but Barron wouldn't hear it. He quickly arranged for her to stay in a luxury hotel nearby, paid for by his personal account, and promised to find her a safe place to stay permanently. Over the next few days, Barron's actions spoke louder than words. He reached out to his family's network of contacts and worked tirelessly to help Mrs. Dawson get back on her feet. Barron used his position and resources to ensure that she received the proper medical attention, secured a place to live, and eventually found a new job that suited her skills. As the weeks passed, Barron checked in on Mrs. Dawson frequently. Their bond grew even stronger, and she couldn't help but feel incredibly grateful for his kindness. She had always believed in him as a student, but now, she saw the man Barron had become: compassionate, humble, and driven to make a difference. The media caught wind of Barron's unexpected act of kindness, and the story quickly went viral. People across the world were touched by Barron's empathy, which seemed like a stark contrast to the often cold and calculating image of the Trump family in the media. It was a side of Barron that many hadn't seen before, and the story of him helping his former teacher resonated with millions. By the time Mrs. Dawson was back on her feet, she had become something of a local hero herself, with her story of struggle and resilience inspiring others. Barron, on the other hand, found peace knowing he had done the right thing. He realized that despite the fame, wealth, and power that came with his name, it was moments like these, helping someone who had once helped him, that truly defined his character. In the end, Barron Trump didn't just give Mrs. Dawson a roof over her head, he gave her hope. And in return, she reminded him that kindness, no matter the circumstances, can change lives in the most extraordinary ways.